Got it. Welcome, everybody. No, I know. I'm glad. I actually forgot. I keep forgetting. Lit. Welcome, everybody. I'm gonna have Emoji J come into the box, and we're gonna start off with the intro video. Tired of feeling stuck? Tired of the pain? Of all the patterns that just keep leading to nowhere? Yeah, well, guess what? We all do. Now, the only thing left is, how are we going to end all of that? Are we going to let life keep happening to us? Or are we going to embrace for life to happen for us? We all got to make that choice. And right now is the time. So let's grow. Welcome, everybody, to a new show. My name is Cureage. This is Grow Through It sorry, I forgot what day it was. Every Monday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central. You know the rest. Tonight we have a very exciting episode. We had two brand new guests, of course. Tonight we're going to have a new streamer. He goes by, dang, I already forgot his name. You guys will see, and then you'll know. But we have him coming in, and we also have Miss Top Badge Brookie. She'll be in here as well. Oh, and Easy. Thank you very much. Grace in Outer Space. I appreciate that. I don't know why I drew a blank. It's been a long day. Forgive me, guys. We're all humans here. We all have jobs and we have crazy days. So it's been a crazy day for me. I hope everyone's had a wonderful day so far. So a little bit about Grow Through It here. On this show, we talk a lot about different adversities. Each week, I have two new guests and they talk about their adversities and how they didn't just go through them, but how they grew through them and how they grew from them. For an example, a little bit about myself. I grew up playing sports. I was always an athlete. However, there was one sport that I started since I could basically walk. It was kind of something I was born into. And again, everyone, I appreciate all the love and I see everybody here. I cannot acknowledge each person, obviously, because of the show and out of respect for the guests that will be in the box pretty soon. But I appreciate and have love for everybody here. So I appreciate you all. So yeah, I started off in martial arts at a very, very young age. And I kind of went and ran with that. And with martial arts, as I became a teenager, I started noticing the UFC got really big, very popular. And I was just like, whoa, this is like a whole new extension of what I've been doing since I was a toddler. And so I figured, this is what I want to do with my life. So, years and years down the line, here I am in my early 20s back then, and it was my job. And I still loved it, which made it even better. But I was working. So it was 2, 3 times a day. I would be training 5, 6 days a week. And that was my life. I had obviously I worked on the side, went to college, this and that. So one day I'd moved back to where I'm from originally in Los Angeles, and I woke up and I couldn't walk. And that was pretty damn scary. It was very scary. And it was definitely interesting as well. I know it sounds weird, but it was interesting because it was something that I didn't realize we had such a amazing advantage, right? A lot of us, we can do certain things that we take for granted a lot. And so that definitely awoke that part of me. Um, but I found out, I had certain injuries, herniated disc, left leg out of place, et cetera, et cetera. So a couple years down the line, maybe a little less, after therapy from my physical therapy from my and rehab from my injury, I found myself just not being able to stay away from the sport itself. So I would still continue to go back to these gyms, and because I couldn't train for a while after my injury, I still hung out. I still played around, hung out with the coaches. I was in crutches for a while. But what I did notice that was very different and eye opening was people were coming to me for advice. They were asking me on advice, on tips, things I used to do, things I would do in MMA, in certain situations in the cage, in the ring, etc. So instead of being bitter about it, I was just like, this is very flattering. And I was like, I realized they couldn't ask me before because I was always busy, working, right? I was training, I was preparing for fights, all of that. So down the line, after I'm working with these different fighters, I realized they're doing really well. They're succeeding. And it's because, well, obviously because they're putting the effort and they're listening, but I'm giving them advice and it's working. And I was like, whoa, total shock. Like, who would have thought that I would fall in love with being a coach to people after, all this depression, all this anxiety that I had after getting, such a horrible injury that ended my career really early on in my age. This was over 10 years ago. And so, with that being, I just took that and ran with it. And that's how I grew from it. I went and discovered the nutritional aspect and got my degree in there, so I can work with them with their eating habits, things like that. Went into physical therapy, so I can help them make sure their bodies are functioning properly, and things like that. So that's a little bit about my story. Obviously, there's a lot more to share about, but it's not about me tonight. It is about my guests and how they grew through their adversities. So tonight, I know there was a little bit of discussion on who goes first, who goes second, but I am an old fashioned in this sense. So I'm going to go ahead and let Miss Top Badge Brookie hop in the box if that's the one who just favored it or just requested the box. I'm going to go ahead and have her hop on in. And here she is. If you guys have not favorited Miss Top Badge, I don't want to keep calling her Miss, the Top Badge Brookie, please do. I know she doesn't like
not the big box. Not the big box.
It's not. It's medium. It's medium. I promise.
It's pretty big.
Okay, hold on.
There we go. That's so much better. No.
No? Too big? Too big still?
Small one. Small one.
Small one. All right. We're making a special request, ladies and gentlemen, for a Brookie. And if you haven't already favorited, please do. She is awesome. She's been around the app for quite a while. So, given that, I want to know a little bit about your carrot emoji.
I didn't know you were going to ask about that.
Yeah, sometimes I like to surprise my guests. I appreciate all the love, everybody. I appreciate you all.
When I first started, I had a new emoji. It was Aussie Brookie Baby. And then it went to Aussie Brookie. And then it went to Brookie. And I had, because I'm Australian, I had the Australian flag and the kiss. And so it's like an Australian kiss. So I'm not going to go on with the details because this is a featured show. But you ask an Australian what an Australian kiss is, I guess.
Okay.
Then a lot of people had the kiss, they had this. So I went through emojis. I had the burger, I had something else. And then the carrot, I was always eating carrots and people were coming at me about eating them. So I just put it in. And then there's a whole nother reason that I will not say on here. But mainly I like eating raw carrots.
All right. I mean, everyone should like
not
carrots.
A big thing. I like being different too, and no one really has the carrot. Like most girls are really things.
That's true. I might have to find. I know there's a lot of ninjas on here, but I have the prayer beads for that reason because it's like peaceful warrior. I just kind of figured that it's kind of cool, but maybe I'll just throw in I don't know, a piece of
pumpkin.
I don't know, something random that no one else has, so that way everyone knows that's me. So I know we talked a little bit before the show, and you mentioned to me, obviously I'm not going to spill it for everybody,
Yeah.
but you mentioned to me how you had been through some pretty pretty crazy, situations that led to, some amazing things that you do still to this day. So go ahead and
Yeah.
start on that.
So
What age were you?
I was about 17, 18, probably just turned 18. And so in Australia, we have something called schoolies. It's like, I guess, the American version of spring break, similar, like end of
Okay.
year, we're celebrating, we finish like high school and we go drink and party and just have fun. So I was pretty innocent in ways. I was very, very quiet as well until then. I was very, 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 very quiet. And so I went with 4 friends and we stayed in a pretty safe, fancy not apartment, like hotel. And it was going good. We were there for like nearly a week, I think, until I decided to stay in the house, and I got woken up not very nicely, and I was raped, I was beaten. It was pretty bad. Um, I didn't know really how to deal with that a lot of my life, and like I'm 29 now, so it's been a little while, and but it definitely changed me. It made me feel very small, and which I know a lot of people have, men and women have been through similar things, and it took me a long time to be able to
Absolutely.
speak about this, because you get made to feel like it was your fault, or you're disgusting or dirty, and a lot of it's in your mind, and
Right.
and it was really traumatic because I was blanked out. It was my very first time. It was all sorts. But like sort of after that, I found courage to tell my friend, because he was always bringing up um, men, and as in what a regular 18-year-old would talk about, really. And he was my
Right.
best friend, and I always shut off because I didn't want nothing to do with anything to do with the opposite sex, really, at
Yeah, I
that
mean, who could
point.
blame you?
Right. And I couldn't even tell my mom. My mom found out in a bad way, and she thought I just was sleeping around, kind of. And my mom just stopped respecting me because my friends yelled out, like, she's not a virgin anymore. Like,
Oh
and
no.
it was a really
This
bad way. And they didn't know either. And so,
right.
yeah, that sort of made me, I'm like, who do I tell? What do I do? And so I ended up talking to my best friend's mom. He ended up, like, thank God I told him, because I was disgusted to tell him. But she went through a lot of similar things and she helped me. And I got closer to God in those years. And then I started karate. I actually left my job in childcare, and I got convinced to do karate. And it wasn't so much about self-defense then, but when I started, I couldn't stop.
Yeah,
I
I know that
only wanted
feeling.
to train 1 or 2 times a week. This quiet little, like really quiet female, wouldn't get up and do anything. And I just found something I loved, and it empowered me, and I was really good at it. Like, I was strong. I didn't realize how strong I felt. Even though it can still happen to me, because I am a female and men are genetically stronger than us. But
Well, yeah, and there are men that are stronger than me. Like, there's always a bigger fish.
exactly. And it's just like, oh, you can't dwell on things, because life's going to continue moving on. And I ended up pretty much, I was still messed up over it. Like, I still am to this day. It's still, there's things
Right,
there.
it's something that you'll
But
always be growing through for a very long
exactly.
time.
But then I put myself into training and studying, and I ended up becoming a pastry chef. And
Ooh,
I was I'm a black belt in karate. I ended up teaching karate. And
And you do that to this day?
well, I've hurt my ankle, so I can't do it right now, but I know one day I'll be back to it. Like I was doing
Right.
it for 10 years. So
Yeah.
I would definitely teach you guys. Like I think every female needs to, no matter what, do some type of self-defense or traditional karate. Not all that other fancy stuff, traditional karate. Like
Yes, traditional
it
is very, because it's
strengthens like your legs, your arms, like it helps your speed, it helps your mind. I still am very uncoordinated, very uncoordinated, but I like a huge difference. Like I could barely balance on one leg, but now, like maybe not so much right now, but when I'm
well, yeah,
training,
you only got one
your
leg right
mind
now.
just focus. And I've I've dropped men as in training. Like we've trained and they're like, they've even said, I'm not going to go with Brooke today because when I train, I'll train hard. And they let you punch them. I can't punch the girls because,
Right, yeah.
ugh.
Well,
But
and
I'm
I
like,
actually, when I, after my injury, one of the things I was able to do were teach seminars for women, self-defense seminars. And like after, I had people coming to me and getting advice, people started saying, hey, like, have you ever done a self-defense class? I'm like, I've never been to one, but I know how to do it. Like I guess I could teach what I know. And
yeah,
so I got invited to different gyms around, Las Vegas, and they would have me, teaching like 15, 20, sometimes women of just different defense mechanisms or moves and things like that. And it was really nice, like just knowing that like they felt like the looks on their faces afterwards, like they felt like you said, very empowered and things
it's
like
just
that.
simple little things, like little finger things, or like, and you're like, damn, like I didn't realize that could happen. Or like, I remember
Right,
when one of these teachers came and taught me, I was maybe an orange belt. So that's very new still.
right,
And
yeah,
it was like they did some soup, they pretended that we had bags and they grabbed them off us. Most of us women have handbags, purses, something. And it was really confronting for me because it was that man coming at me. Like it was the
right,
man attacking us. And I was like, hold up. Like, I didn't sign up for this stuff. Like, and it taught me how like to drop on the ground pretty much, like go low. No one thinks to drop. They think to pull
right.
and run or something. Like
Too many
there's
scary movies.
so much. Yeah. Like also I would say talking about it, learning to talk about it. Like the first time I started speaking about this on live was not long ago, and I got it thrown back in my face pretty much. And they
That's the app
ridiculed
sometimes.
me, and it was, yeah, and it was a huge lesson to me. So it's really big of me talking about it now, but this is a
Well,
safe space. But I'm
we
like, that's my
definitely are
story, and
grateful for you.
well, I appreciate it. I'm
So
like,
everybody who just joined, if you haven't already, please hit Brookie with the favorite. She's an awesome streamer and person, obviously. And this is Grow Through It. I'm your host, Cureage or Cure. Every Monday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, or if you're Brookie in Australia, it's 2 p.m. Tuesday over there. And we're talking about different adversities and how we grow through them. And Brookie's got a pretty incredible and wild story of how she grew through and still is growing through one of her adversities that she went through over 10 years ago, almost 15. Um, so going back a little bit, Brookie, like when you said they had you guys doing the certain drills, right? Like where the man would come behind you, grab your purse, whatever bag. Did you find any of that to be triggering to what had happened in the past?
definitely, especially when they did groundwork, because I had one teacher and he did MMA. So MMA is a lot of groundwork, like on your back
Yeah,
sort of stuff, and
jujitsu, things like
someone's
that.
over you. Yeah, jiu-jitsu. Like I hated it. Like I would freeze up, and people would be like, "What's wrong?" And no one ever knew.
Right.
Like no one ever knew. Um,
Yeah.
And I just started going, I need to go to the bathroom or something. Like, I can't do this. Or I would be the one saying, I'll be on top, like stuff like that. And it was super triggering. And to this day, I don't want some sort of stranger on top of me like that. Like, I need
Yeah, of course.
the trust thing, and it's like, men, but also I can't not trust anyone in my life, you know?
Yeah, it's a growth process. Like you
Yeah.
you just need good experiences to kind of fulfill and or fill up that, I guess,
Not
void,
just
so to
hope.
speak, of,
Yeah.
bad experience.
Yeah.
So now, even though you got your hurt ankle, you are also are you still um, working as a chef?
I'm a nanny, so I'm a childcare teacher as well, but I've taken on for friends of mine. I have been babysitting pretty much for 4 years with them, and now I'm a full-time nanny with them. So I love it. I love kids. So I will, once it's too dangerous for me to sort of do that stuff. But like, I'm a pastry chef. I'll always be a pastry chef. I'm about to cook their cakes and stuff for them on the weekend, and like, I'm just sort of doing my life right now. There's a lot of other stuff going on with me right now, so I might not be streaming. I might look different. I might, you know, be a little bit different for a while, but people
Well,
will
hey,
always.
we're here to come hang out with you in your streams,
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm just like there to
regardless.
chill, and I'm also learning to use my voice. Maybe I am quiet, but if there's something wrong that I don't agree with, I will eventually end up saying something, and people just may not like that now. And if you don't like it, you don't have to be around me.
I have to rewind that real quick. Did you just say that you're quiet?
I was pretty quiet. Like, I would stay out of a lot of business. Now I'm like using my voice. If
Because
I'm
I've
comfortable
known
with
I've
you,
known the Brookie
I'm
that's
comfortable with
just up
you.
in my business. So
If I'm
that's the
comfortable
Brookie I
with you,
know.
but I've known you for a while now. Like,
Yeah, it's been
I
over a
wasn't
year.
as open when I first met you.
Yeah,
And
no, I
then
get it. I'm just messing with
but
you.
yeah, it's like, if I go into someone else's stream, I'm just gonna be like, mm-mm. But I'm learning this app has boosted my confidence like so
Really?
much. When I first started streaming, I was I was petrified, like, and now I like feel a lot more comfortable, and um yeah, and like, also it's the people that surround you and like stuff.
Where do you think you found that, like, going from feeling awkward and uncomfortable to now you're a top, well, obviously you're a top badge, and like here you are, a Brookie with the carrot, and just streaming like it's no big deal, like, and you have this
um
confidence now. Where do you think that
no,
came
I still have my days. I still definitely do. It takes sometimes
from? Of course.
a lot. No one sees the before or the after I stream. Like, it's
Or the in
exhausting.
between, yeah.
It's the trolls. I get messages on a daily from people to kill myself, to telling me about other people's business, like, just a lot. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I shouldn't be on here, I'm a diamond trader, I'm gonna die. They try and hack into your stuff. um
Typical trolling stuff, yeah.
no, these DMs are more than just the regular DMs, you know. Like, they're pretty serious. They're pretty serious. Like,
Do you feel like
um
they're from people that you know or that
oh,
been to your
for
stream, or
sure.
just
For sure, for
okay?
sure. They're jealous, like, especially when you are a big gifter or you're a big gifter of someone else. Like, I'm very high on someone's board on here, and they don't like it. Like, I honestly think it's their stalker, but they try and get to this gifter. But it's like really
Yeah,
messy. Like, I just like hope that they move on, and
right,
like, other people have other things going on in their life and they don't need that. Like,
right, of
girl,
course.
like, come talk to me if you really have a problem. I'm sure I could actually probably help you out or ease your mind or whatever. Like, I'm not a horrible person. People might be like, oh, you're in their business, but it's usually they've come to me or someone's come to me and I'm just helping. I always come out of a good place. So if anyone has a
Same.
problem with me, just come to me. Like, I'm not a bad person at all.
Not
Yeah.
always.
I'm,
Just kidding.
I'm nice to you. It's only one.
I'm just kidding with you. I'm just totally kidding.
Thank you, guys.
So
Yeah.
you obviously went through a lot at a very young age, and it was the way it went down, that's just something you'll never forget. So like when you think about it like that, have you found any kind of comfort in that? Not comfort, maybe that's the wrong word, it's lack of a better word, but maybe some kind of acceptance at this point?
Definitely more acceptance. Like I know a lot of people aren't religious, but it took me a while, and I decided to go get christened again. Um,
Okay.
and that was I was an adult, but it was just like it was just ways I was trying to do things to try and forgive myself in a way, because I just felt dirty, and I still think it's very much impacted my life. It stopped relationships, it stopped friendships, it stopped, I guess, I don't know, just me doing things in life a little bit more. I became a bit more secluded rather than, but it could have saved my life in some ways. It could have, I don't know, like everyone has a journey in their life, and um, it is what it is really. Like you have to find a way to move on, or you're just stuck in that same zone. If I still dwelled on that all the time, I would not be here. Like I wouldn't be able to be talking to you guys. I would,
Right.
yeah, but I would say don't be ashamed. Like if it's ever happened to you, don't be ashamed.
Yeah,
Anyone
reach out, right?
do that, I'm very much open. Like to listen, and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of help, and yeah, men too.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, please go ferret Miss Brookie. Real quick, I wanted to ask you one last thing that I just caught.
Okay.
One, and again, everybody, I appreciate all love and everybody that's come in here. Welcome to Grow Through It. Every Monday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. If you're in another country, you could probably figure it out. Brookie's in Australia. It's a whole other continent. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday for her. But Brookie, you mentioned something just now. You said you needed to forgive yourself. Why did you feel that you needed to forgive yourself?
Because I blamed it on myself. I spoke badly
Okay.
on myself. I
You felt like
um,
it was your fault.
I felt like it was my fault for years. I spoke badly of, I guess, saying I hate that person. I also, this is going to sound really messed up, guys, but I forgave whoever that person was,
No,
because
that's not messed up. That's huge.
forgiveness is a way to step forward. And that was the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do, is
I
forgive
bet.
someone that did that, someone that beat me up, cigarette burns over me, that threatened my life and my family's life, and I was unconscious. Like took something that's
How,
supposed to be your special first time really and made it disgusting.
right. How long did that take you? Or how
uh
recent was it that you were able to finally do that?
it took me a good, how old, I was probably about 25, and it
So
happened
over
when I was
5
about,
years.
yeah, yeah, about
Yeah.
7 years,
I mean,
yeah.
that makes total sense.
And still
Healing,
I'm doing it,
it's
still
a lot
I've
of
got it.
people think, right, and a lot of people think healing is, simple or easy or fun even.
Yeah,
And it's a quick process when it's the opposite of literally all of those things. It's not always fun. It's a lot of times it's the opposite of fun. It's more harsh and it's more ugly. And it takes a long time. At least it takes a long time until we can, you know, find that point where we're just like, okay, I'm at a certain point of my healing process. Now I feel like where you're at, you have acceptance, you have forgiveness in your heart, you're moving forward with your life, and you're at a point of growth.
yeah,
You said you're still growing, you still have, if you look back, you obviously have grown from that point to the point where you are at now.
yeah.
And and this might sound really bad, and it doesn't, and I don't mean it that way, but you're the Brookie you are today not necessarily because of that specific situation, but that part of that situation happened, and
I agree.
you are the way you are because of that,
I
and
agree. I
because of a lot of things, not just
I
because of that.
agree. Like things with my dad and things with that, and other relationships after that. Definitely, I think it's made me kinder and more understanding of people. I think if none of that ever happened to me, I wouldn't really know what some of that stuff is like. And
Right.
there's less judgment. I don't judge people like that. Like, and so much. I guess that's why I get walked over a lot more because I am sometimes too kind.
I've been there. Sometimes it's a people pleasing thing, right?
Yeah. It's just
But
like
we're
you don't
always
want
working on
anyone to
ourselves,
be
right? I mean,
in that situation ever. You don't want anyone to feel where you were once.
no,
Like,
ever.
I'd do anything to stop that. Even on my enemies, like people that hate me, I
Right.
would stop and try and help them.
And
Yeah.
then that's, that's because you know what it's like.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people you hear, when people get mad and things like that, they do wish bad things and horrible things on their, enemies. We don't really actually have enemies. We just have haters or trolls or whatever nowadays. And it's mostly through the internet, right? I mean, maybe it is in real life at work or something, but typically it's on the internet, and people, they wish negative things on people. And it's just like, until you experience certain negative things, you're going to be like, never mind. I really don't wish this upon them anymore. Like, I might not like them. We may not get along. They may drive me crazy, whatever it is. I don't wish this upon them. And that's because you've come to that acceptance with yourself and forgiveness in your heart. So, like, with going from that, like, you are able to continue growing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So, everybody, I'm going to have you hop out of the box. Before you do, everybody, please show love to this amazing top badge and streamer and
Thank you.
person, obviously, and
I
favorite
appreciate you.
her as well if you haven't
I
already.
appreciate the comments too. I saw most of the comments and you're all amazing as well. But I'll be back.
Absolutely. We'll have her come back in a little bit after we have our next guest, and I know he is in here somewhere. So before I have him hop in the box, I'm going to go ahead and ONEZ. There you are. All right. So before I do that, that was a very, very deep story. Not always do we have such deep stories, and such things, but we have can't do anything but commend Brookie for being open to sharing something like that, right? Like, that is not something that's remotely easy to share and to open up about. And so it's amazing that she was able to do that, and she was able to do it on my show, a new featured show. And I appreciate everyone for all the love again. I do see all of you, and thank you so much for being here, for hanging out, for commenting, for the gifts. I love it all. I appreciate you all and the favorites. I will go back and check you guys all out. And we'll have Brookie come back in just a little bit. So before I have Mr. ONEZ come in, I'm gonna do this week's. I have two quotes because one's really, really short, and these ones, like I said, I always pick them at random. I'm gonna read them. I don't know how well they're gonna resonate with tonight's guests, but I think so far they've all resonated pretty well. So the first one says, and if you want, I will repeat it. It says, you live as if you have some kind of limit or scarcity of being, and therefore you have become a human doing, not a human being, doing to eventually be, rather than being human. That thing you are after, that target of that pursuit, you already are. So I'll read that one quick without elaborating it. You live, I'll leave it again. I'm sorry. You live as if you have some kind of limit or scarcity of being, and therefore you have become a human doing to eventually be. It's quite the opposite. That thing you are after, that target of that pursuit, you already are that. So it's interesting because, as we have ONEZ come in, you'll hear a little bit about his story, and there were things that he went through, and he'll share it with you. I'm not going to ruin that. But and Brookie, she was a lot of different things, and she is a lot of different things. We all are a lot of different things. And we for like if we all go back in time 10 years ago, we may not have been all the things we are now today, right? And a lot of it came from bad experiences, a lot of it came from good experiences. But regardless, is what I guess this to me, again, this is to me, what this quote is basically saying is we create a limit, right, in our belief system because we feel that we don't have as much being of a human being. So we become a human doing to just be who we are instead of just being who we are because we already are that. If you can truly picture, if we can truly picture ourselves as whatever we want, basically, if we can picture ourselves simply being, if we can picture ourselves, being successful, then it's just a matter of time to make it that way, right? There's really not much. I mean, yes, there are actions. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we can just sit here and meditate and become successful, whatever, or rich people or whatever. But like, it's just a matter of being a human being and not always worrying about the human doing part because we can there's actions versus quality actions, right? And so we can keep going doing things and it doesn't get us anywhere, right? So it's all about remembering we're human beings, we're not just human doing. So I mean that was kind of a different one, but I do see how it can kind of resonate. This next one is a short one, and this one definitely 100% resonates with Brookie and with ONEZ. So it says, it takes courage. Funny because if you pronounce my name, it's Cureage or Courage or just Cure for those of you who are new to the stream. It takes courage to be yourself, period. That's it. And I can't think of anything more true than that. I mean, it literally does take courage to be yourself, especially in today's society, right? We have people always trying, like Brookie was saying just now, she has people telling her this, telling her that, all these negative, horrible things. And she doesn't listen to them because she has that courage now inside herself after, all the things she's been through, she's grown from, that she's able to just be herself without, worrying about what this person says, worrying about what this person is doing. A lot of times we go on social media and we look at other people and we see like, oh, well, this person looks like this or this person's doing this, and we're like, we think of ways to be like them instead of just authentically and unapologetically being ourselves, because it's not easy, but it is simple. And so it's you know I love that one. It takes courage to be yourself. So with that being said, again, everybody, I thank you all for being here, hanging out. We still have our next guest coming up, Mr. ONEZ, and I see everybody come in. I apologize. I can't say hi to every single person, but hello, everybody, and welcome to Grow Through It. I'm your host, Cureage, or Cure, it's typically what I go by. Every Monday at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central. If you're in Australia, we're on Brookie. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday over there. So I can't name all the other ones, but I got those. So with that all being said, I'm going to introduce our new guest, and he is a new streamer. So make sure everybody show him love. Please favor him. I haven't even been to his stream yet, but he's got a pretty fascinating story that he's going to share with us tonight. Mr.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, brother. How are you? I'm gonna make you a little bit bigger because
Let's go. I'm
I want
ready.
to be. This is typically how I do it.
Okay.
So Brookie had a little special request. But how's your night been? How's your Monday?
Oh, it's been good. Got some good rest, man. Handled a couple things earlier. Got ready for the show, and I'm here now.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you being here and such last minute too. But we
Yeah,
made it
man.
happen.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to Albie. Shout out to Cure for making this happen, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come in here.
Yeah, Miss Angel. Miss Angel's in here showing
Albie
support.
Angel. Yes.
Um, so real quick, because I do this with kind of everyone for the most part, what is ONEZ and how did you come up with that?
Oh, and easy to put it in a short, quick story is a representation of everything I used to be. I'm not no more. So that's what the name stands for. They used to call me all the older guys outside when I was in the streets and stuff like that. They called me Lil One. I broke the name and put X's in between because I have more than 3 strikes. And on easy now instead of being Lil One. I used to be the one. You looking for the one? That's the one right there. You want a problem? That's the one right there. Now I'm on easy, O and easy. So
On Easy, okay.
O and
So
easy. It's
that's
pronounced O and easy.
ONEZ, got it. And so the X's are for the strikes.
Yep.
Wow. So now I'm just ready to dive into that story. So I know we did talk a little bit before, and you had mentioned you got caught up in a lot of trouble like a
Yes.
little over 10 years ago or so, for about 10 years, correct?
For about 10 years, a little bit over. Yes, sir.
So what went down, or how did all that go on, and how long ago was that?
Um, I can honestly say that this all started at being like a young child, 4 years old, probably with the loss of my brother. I was raised in a single mother household.
Mm.
And then, she lost her oldest son. And that would ultimately set the way for how the rest of my life had played out until I chose the decision to turn things around for myself.
So you just kind of decided just on a random whim, or
No, it
were the
was not. I was literally a child at 12 years old, thrown out to the streets, had to fend for my own. And
oh wow.
everything that you can think of that comes with that lifestyle came, and that's why I wound up in trouble. And I made a lot of horrible decisions, being a child, a misled, misdirected child. And it took me a while to turn it around for myself. But I decided at a age of 17 that this wasn't going to be my life, and that I am worth way more than this. And I stuck to it, and here I am now, 2 3 years out of trouble. Don't got to worry about that stuff. I own 2 companies now, and I'm making my dreams of music happen, and you know mainly inspiring people and helping people in situations that I came from with
So
similar
do you
backgrounds.
go to any type of like events or things like that for people, or certain places that you go and speak to people that like
I
have been
believe
in?
I believe my stream is the first really jump off. That's the first real launch point that I've taken so far. Like, I've just been getting such good positive feedback, and I'm able to jump on here and give that positive feedback and show love and just value people the way that I was never valued. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
and I mean it's
inspire.
such a right, and it's such a diverse place to be, to share certain stories about yourself or about friends or whatever it is, experiences. So I mean,
Yes.
like, you can literally get people from that are in prison that have access to phones that will come into your
Yes.
stream
I just had one the
to,
other night. I literally just had one the other night.
yeah. So I mean, you can have that all the way to, just like Brookie, she's been a long time on the app, and she's a top badge, which is, not easy to get to. And there are some certain top badges that I'm very close to on the app. So it's wonderful that we have this access on the app to be able to reach out to so many different types of people. Like with my show right now, like I don't know how many people are in here exactly, but that it's a lot of views, and
Yes.
because it's a featured show, I'm able to get you guys and myself, and share a little bit about our stories and pieces of our lives, and to see what the audience can get from that, and that's kind
Yeah.
of the hint of this show. So everybody, welcome to Grow Through It. I'm your host, Cureage. My name is Kieran. This is our second guest tonight, ONEZ. Please hit him with a favorite. He is a brand new streamer, so you definitely want to check out his lives. I'm gonna go in there for sure and check him out. I have yet to. I just met him last night, pretty much. I did speak
Yeah.
to him the other night. That dragon just appeared out of nowhere. First time I've ever had that happen. And shout out to Angel, because she got that amazing dragon off that one wheel. So,
Yes.
but
Very
that's how we
special.
kind of met. And then Angel recommended that Owen Easy comes on the show, and here he is. So
Yes.
going back a little bit, now
Yes.
you were 4 years old and you went through, the whole single mom,
And then
raising
the
you,
loss
and
of,
you had siblings as well?
yes, my older brother died. I was going to
Right.
be 4 years old and he was going to be 5 years old. I have a picture right here of us.
Well,
You can't
try
even
not to
tell which
show
one
that
is
though,
me.
because we're not supposed to show kids and stuff.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean,
But you can't
it
even,
is you. So,
yeah,
but
most
yeah,
definitely. You can't even tell the difference between us. So
right. You guys are
my
close in
my
age.
mother my mother is an Italian white woman, and my biological father is an African American.
Okay.
So I really feel like once she lost her oldest son, that's when things spiraled out of control for me and my younger brothers, and it was a living hell after that. And it's taken a lot to get to this point right here. I still think about a lot of it all the time. It drives me, it motivates me because there's a big contrast between how she took the loss and how I took the loss, you know what I mean? And how, things affected me later on. There was a lot of abuse. She made a lot of horrible decisions. She dragged us around just to any Tom, Dick, and Harry and leave us with whoever. So there was a lot of bad things that happened to me. I was abused in every type of way you can think of. And, she allowed those things to happen. And then not only that, throwing a 12-year-old child out on the streets. So when you all were talking about forgiveness, that really hit me because,
Right.
it's so hard when it's your mother. You know what I mean? This is the only person that I had, and she was supposed to protect me. And so I forgive her, gave her a chance and chance, and she would consistently do the same thing. And it's just like she's too torn to get it together. So I just really had to depart ways with that whole situation. And I really feel bad because my younger brother has two kids, and my baby brother doesn't want anything to do with her. And my younger brother with the two kids, he still takes care of her, and he has two kids. And the reason that me and my mother are falling out now is because she is trying to do the same thing to my nephews, and we bumped heads on that. And I will never
Right.
accept that.
So do you feel like it's just all from what happened to your older brother that still
I don't
sits
know.
with her?
She went through a lot too. She has told me about the things that she's been through as I got older. She probably shouldn't have shared those things with me being at such a young age.
Right.
Like I said, though, there was a lot of abuse. I've seen my mother beat. I was beat. We had to fight men, you know what I mean, and get them out of the house and stuff like that at a very young age. From 8 years old, I remember the first time I was involved in one of those. But I remember seeing my mom choked, and a lot of bad things happened to her. And we were always
Right.
homeless, like just walking on the streets. It just made no sense. Her mother didn't support her either, and she used to use that as an excuse. She would tell me, "Oh, my mother didn't do this for me," or "My mother did this," and then I'd ask her, like, "So that's okay to do to me?" And I would,
Right.
I would, as I was going through my troubles. And during those times, I would look back because I had nothing to do but, sit back and analyze my life and where I wanted to be and who the man I am, you know what I mean, and the man I'm
Right.
going to be, and that I continue to grow to be. So, those things played a major part in me changing and turning things around for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like wait, like going a little bit back with the forgiveness part, like have you come to that acceptance of like that your mom, not being a part of your life? Do you feel like it's something that can be later on, possibly, or you kind of where do you stand in
I
that
have,
position?
I have come to the acceptance so many times, you know what I mean, and forgiving her, and she claimed to forgive me for the things that I've done, and it was really a manipulation, So there is
Right.
no room in my life for manipulation. There is no room in my life for that whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I 100,000% agree. I don't think any of us should have, and it just shows that like people as close as family, or even friends or even just acquaintances, like as soon as they're not right for you, they're not serving you, they're not good for you. And like it was kind of what I had said last week. If it doesn't serve us, it doesn't deserve us. And obviously I don't mean like a caterer or like a waitress,
No,
but
of
like,
course.
our growth, if it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't serve us in our growth and in our human being and as our being human beings and pushing forward and doing things that we need to do to live our lives, if it's not helping our lives be good, then why should we keep it around? Whether it's
Exactly.
family, whether it's, friends, cousins, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Especially
There's a certain point.
especially when you're the type of person that would give all, literally anything. This is my mother here. Like you know what I mean? We've been to war
Right,
with other people, you know what I mean? For her to turn around and, just kick me out to the streets at 12 years old. I remember the first time it was over a man. It was over a man who was disrespecting her. And I guess she didn't want to lose him, so she made me leave. And I was outside for hours and till I could come back. And then it would be more like the periods would be longer of me being kicked out. But then when I ran away, she would call the police on me. You know what I mean? Which didn't make any sense. And
right.
I've always been taught to keep my mouth closed and you don't talk to the cops. That's what she taught me. And so if I would have ever picked up that phone and called those people, she'd have been gone. I'd have been out that situation. You know what I mean? But you know, God
Yeah,
wanted me to go
you
through it.
did the only thing you knew what to do.
Yep.
And that's a lot of well, how emotions and how situations get, you know, we suppress them, right? We don't know how to, especially at an early age, we don't know how to express emotions and situations. We don't know how to respond, right? So we react. We react with
Yep.
fear, and then what do we do with this fear at like 12 years old? Like you said, we just put it back in. We bottle it up
And
because
and
we
it
don't
turned
know
to
how to
anger.
proper. We
Yeah.
exactly. We don't
Turned
know
to
how to
anger.
properly express it, and so eventually down the line in our lives, we get
It
older,
plagued me. Yeah.
it takes a toll on us, and it shows. Like, we're very angry people. There's messed up people in the world. If you look at these people in the world, not that it justifies anything that they've done, however, if you look at them, like, there's reasons for it.
Yep.
Like, yeah, some people just have certain things that are messed up when they're born, but a lot of the times when these things happen, it's because of what went on with their life
Yes.
prior, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years
Yes.
prior in their life, that they just never were able to heal from because
Yep. Or didn't even
someone either
try. Or didn't even try.
right, that too, that too. So I mean, and like Angel said, a lot of people on the app alone are very angry people, and they want to come on here and make you feel bad about yourself because they're just, like the old quote, misery loves company, right?
Yeah.
And it's true. As cliche as it is very true. But I mean, going back a little bit, I know that you were in some really deep stuff, incarcerated for quite a while, and you came out of that. Now you said you're a business owner,
Yes.
and so how did that transform so quickly? Like, and how long are we talking from that 12-year-old kid on the street to, all the way to where we are today, business owner, everything like that. What kind of like shifted that? I know you decided at 17 that you didn't want to live that life anymore. So what got you to be the successful ONEZ that we're talking to and watching tonight?
It is the name of this show, The Adversities. Yes, the adversities. It's like I am so like in tune with me right now. Like I'm grateful for all those experiences. Like and how I got here is literally the adversity. So it's like I'm poor, I'm homeless, I'm out here hustling. I don't really want to be a part of these guys. I really don't want to be a part of these situations because they got homes. I don't have a home, at that point in time. So I'm seeing that. Very observant from a young age, growing up in an abusive household and seeing things. I'm very observant, you know what I mean? And I
Right,
pick up on things in an instance. So I already knew that I was different than these other guys who claim to be in the streets. You know what I mean? I was doing it for a need. They were doing it for a want. You know what I mean?
right,
So I automatically don't, it doesn't resonate with me. The streets, quote unquote. I was really in them, you know what I mean? So it doesn't resonate with me. Um, Most of my trouble actually came from them calling the cops on me. Uh, as far as my biological mother and her husband, which is the same man that she kicked me out for. Like she literally kept him, and she knew that this was something that came between her family and split her family up. He ended up leaving her, but that has nothing to do with it. But still, you know what I mean? It just shows, this is not a good person we're talking about here. So I would
right,
look at all those things, and when I sit back and I was doing that time, Like literally, that's what it was. Do I want to live or do I want to die? And, you know, I've been at those points of suicide multiple times throughout my life in my teenage years and losing so many people. You know what I mean? It's the choice.
Absolutely.
Do I want to live or do I want to die? And I look at it. My brother's dead. My cousin got murdered. I got Lil Joe got killed. You know what I mean? It's so many people that I lost. I just can't go like that. I refuse. You know what I mean? I'm not giving
Right.
up. I've never been a quitter. You know, it's just not in me. I know I'm a star. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna shine for the
So you,
world. Yeah.
and you could kind of say that, like the quote said, it takes courage to be yourself. You knew that
Yeah.
wasn't you. You knew that you were something else, and it took.
Yes.
I can only imagine how much courage it took for you, and not Cureage, but courage. It didn't take me. It just took a lot of courage to be himself,
It did.
and you
Battle.
realize like yourself had nothing to do with any of that. Like that was never you. That was just
Yeah.
the survival mode of you.
Yes.
Now you're in the thrive mode.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit quickly about your business. Brookie, we're gonna have Brookie come on in the box. Hopefully she's still
Yes.
here.
I
Didn't
am
fall
the
asleep
owner
for a
and
nap or anything.
operator. I am the owner and operator of Hooded Masked Man Music and Worldwide Publishing. I've had this company since I've came home for the last 2 years. I started my journey in establishing myself as a legit business owner, and I left the streets behind. I'd say back in 2018 and stuff like that. I have nothing to do with the streets or that type of lifestyle at all. So, it's all music and positivity. A lot of my music is, real different compared to what you regularly hear nowadays. So
Right. Yeah. So
it's all
where can everybody in the audience tonight, and Brookie and myself, where can we find, access to that?
O and Easy with the X's, OXNXEXZ on all DSPs, every platform.
Okay, so
Just Google
Instagram,
me,
Snapchat, TikTok.
YouTube, everywhere. Socials
Awesome,
in the
awesome.
bio. Yes, socials are in the bio.
Socials in the bio. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Everybody who's joined, please favorite my two guests tonight. They have been amazing, have amazing stories. If you just now joined, you kind of missed it, but you can go back to Emoji Space J. Go to his YouTube. He does a YouTube channel where he films a lot of people's featured shows, and all of my episodes are actually on there. This one will be on there sometime this week. So if you did miss their stories, you can go ahead and go on there later this week and check it out. And please favorite my guests. Owen Easy is a new streamer. Brookie is a longtime streamer, but still a fun one to go hang out with and mess with. If you're in the mood, she can take it. She loves to mess with you back. So real quick, where do you guys feel like, sorry, my Siri is like going crazy over here on my iPad. It thinks I'm trying to talk to it. You're not a guest tonight, Siri. All right. So where did you guys feel like you found any kind of similarities or resonation in each other's stories at all? I know that you mentioned the forgiveness part.
I heard when you were speaking about your mother kicking you out. My mom didn't kick me out for those reasons, but I got kicked out numerous times. She had mental health issues and stuff, and I got kicked out. It was just like us in the family, just me and my brothers and my mom. And I was the eldest, and I got kicked out at like 12 and 16, 17, 18, kind of at those ages, and it teaches you a lot. Like, yeah,
It
like I
really
definitely
does.
didn't go through it. I never went through what you went through, but yeah, like it's definitely something different when your own parent kicks you out.
So quick question then for both of you. Where was the first place you both went to when that happened? Did you go to a friend's house, no, relative's house, or
You can go.
The first time I really got kicked out and I couldn't come back that night, I actually slept behind a bus stop on a bench.
at 12 years old?
Yes.
Wow.
I slept outside most of the night, um, like outside the house, and then I snuck in under the carport, and there was like a couch out there. slept on that. And then like
You broke into
mad
your own
early,
house.
well, it was easy
I
to get
used
in
to
there.
too.
Yeah, and then my mum must have felt bad, and one of the doors she must have told my brother, or she did it, because I went and checked it in, and the door was open, and I ran back into my room, and I couldn't even sleep the night because I thought she was gonna come and pretty much hit me or yell at me or
It
something
is
like.
scary. It's very
It was,
scary.
yeah. So I was like, like I knew she let me in, but like I knew for the next few weeks it was gonna be awful, and I'd be
Yes.
looking on shells and
Yeah.
like it just not very comfortable stuff. And it still happens to this day. Like when I moved back from New Zealand, I was a full grown adult. She
Right.
still did it, and she knows because she had the power over knowing that COVID made it very hard for us to get a new place, and I couldn't find a place, and she had that power over me of this is the only roof I had over my head, really. And she has mental problems, and and when it gets bad or she's off of medication, we are very close. I love my mother so much, but she's a very tough lady, but she will take it all out on me.
Right.
Yeah.
I most
I'm
definitely can
sure.
relate to all of that. Yes.
Right. So I mean, obviously, we don't stop loving our parents. Like it might feel like it at some point because of certain circumstances, like both of yours. Um, but deep down, like especially with understanding, I think that's a huge thing. And like you guys both have that acceptance, and um, it's like what Kitty had said about it's a forgiveness theme tonight. You guys have Brookie forgave herself for what she felt was her fault when it obviously was not. You
That's what I
forgave.
was gonna say. I related to her most. Was forgiving myself. In accepting that I was just a child. Like we had stated
Right.
already. It was really hard, but I most definitely forgive myself for even ever blaming myself for any of that as well.
Exactly, because you felt like it like when you were 12 years old. So I mean, you probably remember this. Was sleeping
Yeah.
behind that bus stop. Did you feel like you did something wrong? I can imagine.
I was mad because I actually knew that I had done nothing wrong at that situation. I was mad beyond any expression at this like point in time. I still cannot even explain that type of anger. I just knew that it stayed with me for a very long time and it was very hard to get rid of.
Yeah, and
And
it's
when
like I said earlier too. Go ahead, Brookie.
sorry, you have resentment for your parents now. Like they should
Do
have
I resent them?
in it.
No, I'm too old for that type of resentment. You know what I mean? Maybe through my teens and maybe a little bit of my early 20s, but
I still have a little bit of it, honestly, like, because I like just the other day, I hadn't seen my mum in forever, and she started on her stuff. And, and I was just like, get me out of the car. Like, I will Uber it back. And I was so serious. Like, I was
Right.
like, I'm 29, she's still trying to pull that over me. Like, she's still trying to have that control. And it just brings you back to those times when it happened. And I'm like, I will pull myself away from every one of you if that
yes.
happens. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need them. Like, I love them, but I do not need anyone in my life.
And if I
Right.
could
I
offer you
let you
any
in my
advice in
life,
that,
it means I let you in.
yeah. And
Do
if I
you
can
feel
offer you
like
any advice with dealing with resentment, just know that the more you hold on to, the less space you have for you to put good things inside of yourself. So the more you clear out, the more better things you could put.
do you feel Brookie like that? You It's hard to like how ONAZ talked about how he had to cut his his mom away from his life, at least for now. Maybe one day things will be better, but do you ever feel
I
like that's something that you may have to
definitely
do?
do. My mom used to have access to a lot of my things. I'd tell her everything, and now she hates it that I don't tell her stuff anymore, or she thinks I'm just because, like, honestly, bank accounts, like, I used to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, just like, take it out yourself. Like, she never stole off me, but she'll go through. So why are you doing this, or why are you doing that, or like bank statements or other letters were coming to her house, and she's opening them. And I'm like, there's no privacy. And I went off at her, and she thought I was going nuts and over. I'm like, this is my life, my stuff. Like, you cannot do that anymore.
For real.
And she thought I was going just overboard in that, but I'm like, you cannot do that. It was a personal thing that I didn't want her to know. Like, it was something I was dealing with myself. And I was like, I don't want my mommy in it. Like, I don't need my mommy in my business. Like, and I think because it's a change thing.
Not other than mental things, you know, that parents or people in general go through. A lot of times it seems that, and this is, I guess, is the best way of understanding, because, you know, we have to be understanding to an extent, right? Understanding from a distance, you know, where we don't need, like Brookie said, I don't need them in my life, but we can all come to an understanding of, I guess we'll just stick with parents since that's kind of the topic, is, you know, understanding that they don't know any better. I mean, sometimes, given this isn't always the case, but a lot of the times they just don't know any better. This is how they were brought up. You know, they were brought up where they got, you know, this and this happened to them that they didn't get to heal from, like we're growing through and we're healing through, you know, those things. So they never did. And so what they're doing is they're passing it on down to us. And then, but here we are growing through it. Everybody welcome to grow through it.
Oh, me. Tell them
we're breaking the cycle.
Generational stuff, and we need to stop it now, or it's going to
breaking the cycle.
Exactly, the cycle will continue. I seen somebody say earlier, stopping the cycle. That's exactly what the hell I did.
Exactly.
I'm not going.
Yeah, and when you know, if
be given, no, I'm good.
If we were to ever have, you know, kids, and whoever does have kids, you know, it would be different, you know, because we're coming from a whole different place. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's really amazing how, you know, tonight's episode went. We only have a few more minutes left. Is there any anything you guys want to like share with the audience, something about your, you know, production company, ONEZ, or Brookie, somewhere like you mentioned earlier, for people to, if they ever feel like they need someone to talk to, they can come to your streams? Like, where
most definitely can come to my stream, no questions asked. Feel free to come through. That's all we do. We keep it real over there. It's nothing but love and uplifting over there. So, you know, you want to hear some good music, I'm over here making beats, I'm over here freestyling, showing songs that I haven't even recorded yet, you know, so feel free to come through.
And I'm a streamer. I've been streaming for 2.5 years now, and I haven't been on it lately, but I definitely am on every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern, but I'm on there for a few hours usually, but I'll pop on through the week, mornings or nights, here and there. Like, don't lurk, stay high. You don't have to feel obligated to gift as well. I know some people have nothing, and it's okay. Come talk to me. Like, I'm not scary top badge or anything. Like, I'm just a regular like you guys.
A lot of them are too. A lot of top badges are scary.
When you're new to the app, they feel that
way. Not scary. Sure. Don't go in and think they're scary. They're just like us. I don't care if they're 600, a million, a billion, anything like that. Like, they are just like us. Don't put them on a pedestal. Don't put anyone on a pedestal, because then you're putting yourself lower than them. Like, don't do that. And that's why people are controlled on this app and scared of people to do things and end up in these situations. You are your own person, and you're amazing, and you don't need to be rich. You don't need to wear your richness either. Like, other people are rich in other ways, smart, like anything. So you don't need to do that. Come in and talk. Like, honestly, that is the best thing. And if you feel you want to gift, you can gift. Free, watch a free video. I appreciate that. But, like, come get to know other people. Because, and if anyone wants to be on my show, I know it's early. It is a travel show, kind of. I'd love to have you on, or come see it, wake up on a Friday morning and just listen in, wake up and open your eyes and have your coffee. And it's a load of fun. I love my show. We're nearly going on 1 year. So, or hit me on my Instagram. Yeah, for sure.
quick
Love that.
quick question, Brookie, while I have you here before I end the show. Are you gonna be having your show after America's Thanksgiving? Like it's Black Friday here. Because I'll do it then. Usually I'm working Friday mornings. So like the last
Every
thing I
Friday,
would
it's
do.
not holiday here. I'm
Okay,
in
well, okay.
Australia.
I'm just checking because I know it's a holiday out here. So I will I'll have to
Yes.
book with you that ahead of time. I think it's the 25th of
Okay,
November.
we can do that. We can do that. And then I have an auction. I have an auction in November sometime too. Jill with the G's.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys so much for being here tonight and opening up. Obviously, it's sometimes it's not easy, especially with deep conversations we had tonight. Sometimes it's more lighthearted, sometimes it's a little deeper like tonight. I love it all. That's what the show is for, and it's for to help everybody in the audience. We had over 1,000 viewers tonight.
Yes,
Hopefully,
thank
just
you.
one person, two people, three people, can relate a little bit and maybe get some perspective from all this. So again, thank you guys so much, and everybody, thank you for all of you guys being here. This is Grow Through It. It's every Monday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. For Brookie, because she is in Australia, it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in the afternoon. So if you guys are interested in being a guest on the show, go ahead and hit me with that fave. Add me on Instagram or Snapchat, whatever you feel more comfortable. Send me a message. Don't hesitate. Um, and I would definitely get back to you. And I appreciate all the love that everyone's
Thank
been
you for
showing. I
having me.
appreciate everybody coming in here.
Favorite cure as well.
I
Like
was definitely hit
you
Cure with
did
the
a really
fade.
good job. Like
Great
really,
dude.
really good.
I'm gonna come back in a little while. I'm gonna go ahead have you guys hop out of the box.
Love. Thank
Appreciate
you
you
for having me.
guys. Make sure you guys favorite them.
Don't do it, cure.
And if you just joined recently, I know a lot of people did, and you didn't get to catch the whole show, or maybe just caught some of the beginning, some of the end. Either way, go add emoji space J on YouTube, and you can catch all the past episodes, not just this one, but all the past episodes. And this one will be up this week. So if you missed it tonight, you can go up there. There you go. It's in the comments. So go ahead and add emoji J on YouTube. Hit him with that, that favorite, I think it is. It's been a long time since I've been on YouTube, but follow and go subscribe. That's what it is. So thank you. Subscribe to his YouTube channel because he's got a lot of great shows on there, mine included. So again, thank you everybody for being here. I'm gonna come back on in just a little while. So if you guys want to come back and rehash everything or just hang out, you're welcome to. Again, my name is Cureage, and thank you everybody for being here tonight. I will say ciao for now. And my chair obviously said the same.